Ja, noch nicht mal.
Haben wir den gut gesaubert?
Ja.
Muss auch.
Ja.
Oder? Ja. Da drauf verlöpfen?
Ja.
Schon ewig nicht Zeit.
Aber.
Das immer im Bauch. Sauber. Also, wie viel ist drin? We're at my home pretty much. Here is where I grew up, at the lake of Thun pretty much. Yeah, been here, spending here many hours as a kid already, and I came back actually last winter to live close by here. I was in Bern in the city for 5 years and kind of missed home too much, and it really feels like, you know, coming home, and it helps me settle down when I have days off and when I have time to spend with family and friends, and I really enjoy being here. I like to, you know, cycle around the lake. I like to spend time on the lake, and it's a place that gives me lots of peace and you know, peace of mind. I can calm down, I can reflect on things and look forward to what the future brings. They give you, you know, that support when you need it. I mean, especially in tough times, I think that's what can make you stronger. And but also in good times, it's always nice to share success with your close friends, with your close family, and that's why I always like to come home, no matter if it was a good race or a bad race. It's always going to be, I'm always going to be welcome. I'm always going to like to talk about what happened, no matter if it's positive or negative. And I think that is really important, that you have some people that, you know, give you this comfort zone, let's say, where you can talk about anything and, you know, discuss whatever is on top of your mind. And that's why I think I'm really lucky to have a great family, great friends around me that give me that, you know, that peace and that comfort zone. Well, I've grown up on bicycles pretty much. My dad was a cyclist, so it was very natural for me to jump on a bike and, you know, ride through the mountains or on roads as well now. So that's still in my blood. I still like to cycle, no matter if it's on the road or on a mountain bike. So, and I've discovered e-mountain biking, which might sound funny, but it's really enjoyable. I mean, you get to places that, you know, your lungs were striking on a normal bike to get to, and now you discover new places and stuff. So I really enjoy doing that at the moment. I've also discovered the lake a bit in the last few years, done my boat license and spent some time on the lake if I can, together with friends and family. And karting is still, you know, the first love somehow. So I love to get back to the go-kart track whenever I can, and you know, turn a few laps on that track where everything began in Lies, which is close by. So yeah, also there, always not enough time to really take care about all the hobbies you really have. So yeah, I'm grateful whenever I have time to do one or the other thing. I think it's very important to know to understand what has happened, and you know, to also be aware of the consequences some things can have, and learn from mistakes you've made, but also be aware of things that went well and why did they go well, and how can you keep that momentum up and all that stuff. So I really like to take time for myself and, you know, just enjoy a moment, sit down and think about things that have happened, but also planning the future on one or the other side. I mean, yeah, it's difficult to plan always in sports, but if you have a clear goal, a clear vision, I think you can still somehow plan your path to that goal. And I think this mental preparation is something very, very important and much underestimated as well. So I try to give myself the time to, you know, take a deep breath and think about those things, and I think it definitely helps. I feel that we have a very, very good chance this year. You know, René, as he's my main competitor, let's say, for the title, and he's the one to beat. I feel like I'm in the role of having nothing to lose, and I kind of like that feeling. You know what I mean? It's he's been the benchmark in this championship for the last 2 years, at least, if not 2.5, and he has everything to lose, and I have everything to gain. That's how I see it, and I feel that we as a team within Audi, within Abt, within my crew, the mechanics, the engineers, and myself, we've gelled so well over this season that everybody is really, really hungry to try and make it. And we know that the only way to make it is to beat him fair and square on track. You know, we have that chance. It's a 20-point gap at the moment. We know that if we win every race and he finishes second every race, we can win it on our own strength, and that is a very nice feeling. You know, we don't need to rely on failure, and that is something that, you know, gives you a little bit of that extra spark of motivation, that we know we can have it in our own hands. We know it will be super tough. It will be extremely difficult to beat him on track for 4 times in a row, but we can. I mean, there's nobody who says it's not possible, and, you know, the numbers show that it can be done, and yeah, we will go all in and see what happens. I mean, I'm just very, very excited to get out there and try. Obviously, we are, you know, fighting for a very big thing. I mean, winning a DTM title is something not so many people have done in their lives. He has done it once, and I have a lot of respect for him. I think he is extremely good in what he does, and that's driving race cars very, very fast. And I think, you know, he would definitely deserve to win it a second time, no doubt about it. I mean, he's done an awesome job all year long, and I still will do my very best to try and beat him, and I will not make presents on track. He will not make presents to me on track, but we have a very healthy relationship off the track. And that doesn't mean off the track if we are on a Tuesday somewhere sitting around and having a coffee. No, it's even off the proper racetrack. We can sit down in the paddock after a race and talk about things normally, even if things happen that shouldn't happen. which there are one or the other example. So I think we are both extremely competitive and we want to beat one and the other, but we have a very good relationship. I think it's something enjoyable. I think it's not needed to try and make artificial fire in the whole story. You know what I mean? I mean, we don't need to punch each other off the track. I mean, if we are not agreeing on things, yes, we can talk and we can argue, but still, I mean, I think it's nice to have a good relationship and say, look, I'm okay if things go wrong, and we can talk about it and get it out of this world. And yeah, I will for sure not be, you know, clapping my hands first thing if I lose out on a race. But I think he deserves the success because he's working hard for it, because he has the talent, and you know, I think. This relationship that we have is something I appreciate, and it's maybe not the most common thing, but I'm proud of it. I think we are very good at managing the race in general. In terms of tire management, I think this is a big subject this year. With the more power, we stress the tires a lot more, and you need to take care of them. So we're good at that. I think we are, you know, not making big mistakes. We are staying calm also if things don't go right. I mean, Lausitzring on Sunday was a good example. We have the most horrendous start you can wish for. You dropped to P11, and we still didn't panic and still didn't do a silly move on track or didn't do the most crazy strategy. But you know, we went for the right call, and we made it back up to P2. And I think that's what I meant with saying when you have a bad day, you need to make the most out of it. And if a bad day is finishing P2, I think it's pretty good. So I think that is one of our strong points. And we've had a great crew of mechanics who've always managed that the issues we had on the car or happened in a free practice session when it didn't matter, or at the end of a qualifying where it didn't matter, or the issue was so small that we could still finish the race. And I think that is worth a big applause and a big thank you to my crew of mechanics who've also contributed a lot so far to this. All in. I mean, Nürburgring and Hockenheim are two great events, and I just want to come to Hockenheim and have the championship open up for grabs on the Sunday, and then anything can happen. I mean, if we still, you know, have that fight on the last race of the year, the tension in the air will be so high, and it will be such an exciting moment that I really hope that we will all get to experience it. And yeah, that's the plan. I mean, we'll just try our very best, try and win as many of the last 4 races as possible and close the gap to Rennes before we get to that Sunday.